Like he's playing an invisible and endless game of Yahtzee.
So, Gus is going
Five dice.
4.
Four
So an incomplete
dice.
game of Yahtzee.
You said Yahtzee, so I think 5 dice.
So, Gus is going to point at his head, and then point at Connor, and like tap on the side of his head, and then point at the ghost, and then do voodoo like hand gesture, like woo. I'm trying to tell him to like telepathically speak with the ghost.
Yeah, I know. I just want to see you do this. Like, it was a good description, and I got it, but I was...
No, listen. I actually enjoy pantomiming, like,
You also...
weird character pantomimes.
Well, alright, I'll do this in character. Connor says telepathically to Gus, I told you, I don't want anything to do with this ghost. It's undead. You're nuts.
I don't know. Does this take...
Like...
It does take verbal components, damn it, because I was going to say comprehend languages is in my list, but I need verbal components to do it.
Too bad we can't, like, make a bubble of air.
What's next?
Oh, you know what? I have an idea. There's 10 minutes of air in the bag of holding, right? We turn it upside down and we stick Lucius's head in the bag of holding, so he casts comprehend languages.
I mean, it would take me 10 minutes and I'd have to be able to see the book that I'm trying to cast from.
Oh.
It's a great idea. I love it.
No, that's a dumb idea, but that's why it would work.
Yeah, I don't think you can actually enter a bag of holding.
Wait, we can't cast spells underwater?
Not with
with
verbal
verbal
components.
Yeah.
You can't speak.
I've got 2 spells I can cast.
Oh. Well then, I didn't cast Protection from Good and Evil on you.
Alright.
Alright.
Oh, no, you didn't. You thought you did.
Yeah, apparently.
Lucius sits down in front of the ghost.
Oh man, that's all my spells.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does he react?
That's how it works.
He goes through the same little rigmarole where he takes his pouch out, sets it by his left knee.
Like
Lucius
I'm gonna
takes
put...
his own coin purse out, sets his mirror.
Does it have more in it than Gus's did?
Have to
Hold
switch
on.
tabs over here. Quite a decent amount. 31 platinum, bunch of some coal, some gold, some copper, some silver, a little of everything.
And are you still holding the broken key?
I had handed it to Alexander.
Okay.
Put my hand on your shoulder, Lucius, and kind of make a "you sure" gesture.
Lucius shrugs.
So how many coins do you have? What's in the little pile?
Let's see, 40, 47, 57. It's 8 as I can't math. 65? 65 coins of various value.
Okay, so fair amount.
Yeah.
Ghost takes the cup, rattles it around, rolls the dice out on the floor. And again, the dice are blank. There's nothing on them. All 6 sides of them as they hit the floor. You can't tell what they are. He scoops them up, places them in the cup, then he hands the ghostly cup over to you.
Take the cup, look down inside it.
And there's 4 transparent dice with no markings on them in the bottom of the cup.
Lucius tosses them. Overturns the cup onto the floor.
Well, do you toss them or do you overturn the cup onto the floor?
Oh, I'm gonna overturn the cup onto the floor.
Okay. When you reveal the dice, they're just sitting there, blank. The ghost regards them for a moment, and shakes his head. He reaches over and takes 3 coins off your stack and puts it on his. Then he scoops the dice up, puts them back into the cup. He takes his next turn. So just remove whatever the 3 most valuable coins are from your pile.
Is there like any indication watching this what the rules of this game are, like at all?
It looked like he rolled the dice, and then Lucius rolled the dice, and then he took some of Lucius's coins.
Lucius points to his eyes, points to the dice, and then shakes his head.
Points to your eyes or
Right.
Lucius's eyes?
Lucius's eyes. He points to his eyes, and he points down to the dice, and he shakes his head.
And the ghost speaks to you, and says something, but again, you don't understand what it is he's saying.
Lucius looks very frustrated.
All right.
And the ghost takes his next turn, throws the dice, and they roll. Then he scoops them up, places them in the cup, hands the cup across to Lucius.
Connor is very much violating his ideals here.
Uh-oh.
So throw that out there. But I am going. Sorry, I thought someone was knocking on my door. I'm going to use one of my meta magic features. I'm going to use Subtle Spell,
Okay.
which allows me to cast a spell without any verbal or somatic. Somatic? Why can't I remember that word all of a sudden? Components to
It's
it.
not a real word.
Good.
Nobody's ever heard
It
it
is.
before.
It really is a fake word.
And I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts on the ghost.
On the ghosts?
Yeah.
The surface thoughts are great. How should I put this? Great relief. The relief that comes from a man long starved being nourished. Would you like to push deeper than that?
Sure would.
So at this point, Lucius, he's handed you the cup back.
Lucius takes the cup. He's not aware of any of this because, again, subtle magic. and shakes the dice up a little bit.
Okay.
Cup. Overturns it onto the deck.
You reveal the dice, and they're just blank dice. The ghost shakes his head, reaches over, takes 3 more of your coins, and puts them in next to his pouch. Then he gathers the dice up into the cup and goes to take his next turn. And Connor, you said you're pushing deeper than that?
Yes, sir.
What direction would you like to go? I'm assuming a 9 doesn't beat your spell save DC.
I want to know because I have an inkling that I know what's going on here. So I think what I want to know is his reasoning into doing this.
You are aware that when you go deeper, it becomes aware that you're probing
Yep.
into its mind. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you're probing into this thing's mind at all tells you that whatever this little world is that Lord Taker has created it probably was not part of the original construct.
Mm-hmm.
But it's thinking about the game that it's playing. And you start to get a sense for the rules of it. And it's entirely a game of chance. And you can tell that it's focused on winning each hand. Because once it's taken all of Lucius's coins, it can begin taking other parts of Lucius.
Lucius, yeah. That I suspected that might. I mean,
However, here's the rub. There's no indication whatsoever that he's cheating at this game. And by this time, Lucius, he's taken his third turn. Regarded the dice, and then scooped them back into the cup and handed it to you.
Lucius takes it. See, the problem is that Lucius has no concept of what this game is, and therefore cannot attempt to cheat. Can't even attempt it right now. And he wants to. He really wants to. Lucius shakes the cup, overturns it onto the deck of the ship.
Once again,
Knock
just
myself out 3 more platinum coins.
showing 4 blank dice. And once again, he shakes his head and reaches over and takes 3 more of your coins. Puts them on his pile. And after he does this, he looks up with his empty sockets and looks up at Connor.
Connor is glaring a nasty glare.
Are you staying inside?
Yeah. But he wants to push deeper.
Does a 13 beat your spell save DC?
It is 16, so no.
Okay.
Well, let's get to the rules of the game then. And, yeah, Connor will ask him telepathically what are the rules of the game.
And he can't respond, obviously.
Well, no, see, I'm in his mind now, so I can hear what he's thinking. This feature is great. I really love this feature.
Turning his thoughts, shaping his thoughts to the rules of the game. And the rules that you're able to discern, make an intelligence, and if you've got a tool proficiency for dice, you can add your proficiency bonus.
Ah! Just raw intelligence?
Yeah,
All right.
make an intelligence check.
I'm just going to spend 4 blips.
Oh, okay.
Man, this is violating all of Connor's ideals, too.
From what you can tell, there's some kind of arcane, like, numerology association between the numbers that you can't see on these die faces and the nature of life and death. For the ghosts, throwing an odd number is good, and an even number is bad. And for Lucius, it's the opposite. However, the ghost knows that it has a slight advantage in that Lucius can't read the dice, whereas he can.
But he's not cheating.
He's not cheating. By this time, Lucius, the ghost has taken its next turn and handed the cup back up to you.
And at that point, Connor telepathically says to Lucius the rules that he's been able to discern about evens and odds and what they mean to him versus
the ghost.
Lucius,
et cetera.
make an intelligence check, and you can add your tool proficiency for any kind of gaming kit, which I think for you is we established was cards. Yes.
Cards. Yep. efficiency is 4. Oh, let's take 2 blips and re-roll that too, shall we?
Shall we?
Yeah, let's do that. That's a 15.
Okay. Blips are just falling off the table today.
Yeah.
So Connor sends you this information about how odd numbers are associated with death and even numbers with life in this game. So for him, rolling an even number is bad, but for you, rolling an even number would be desirable. The problem is that you can't read the dice, and you suddenly realize there's a much bigger problem with this game, in that the dice you're using are ghostly dice. And this is the thought that enters your head as Connor gives you this information as you take the dice for your next turn.
Lucius looks at Gustavus and holds out his hand.
Gus looks at him puzzled.
Lucius points at the dice cup.
I'll nod at him and hand him my dice cup.
At this, you see the ghost bring his left hand up to his chin and rests his hand in his chin. He gives you, Connor, he continues to give you his socketed glare. Then he looks over at Lucius and he reaches inside his vest and pulls out a ghostly chain. And at the end of it, you see the head of the key that you seek. And then he motions down to the dice, the ghostly cup that's sitting on the floor. And looks back at you. Connor, are you going deeper into his thoughts?
Yeah.
Ooh, no, you're not. That's going to be a 19.
No.
You use
All
it
right.
out. So Lucius.
Mm-hmm.
He puts the chain back in his vest, and he reaches out and to take the cup of dice from your hand, the one that Gus just handed you.
Lucius lets him.
And he takes it, and he scoops up the ghostly dice, and then he holds the 2 cups together, and he shakes it with his hand. And why don't you go ahead and roll me 4d6?
4d6.
And he needs what? An even number?
Evens are good.
Okay.
That's not even.
So, question.
Yeah.
Can I use...
What is this bullshit you have over here?
timer on...
That's 23 hours, 30 minutes remaining on.
Okay.
Water
Like, is
breathing.
he
Water
updating
breathing.
that in real time? What's he doing?
Now, every time you remind us, I'm going to edit it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Can I spin blips to let him re-roll one of those dice?
Well, no, because this wasn't a to-hit roll, an ability check, or a saving throw.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. He's holding the 2 cups together. And he hands them forward for you to take them in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do, you can feel all 8 dice rattling around inside of them.
Rattle them together and then place it down on the deck. Lift the cup up.
And when you do, Gus's dice are displaying what you've rolled here. 3 4s and a 3. And the other 4 dice you can't read. And he looks at them for a moment. And looks back up at you. And he reaches in and he takes the chain. And he yanks it so it snaps off the back of his neck. And then with his left hand, he reaches down and he picks up his pouch of coins, which has all of the ghostly coins in it, plus 9 of your platinum pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts lifting his hands up and down next to each other, kind of weighing the two together. And then he asks you something in his language that you don't understand.
Point to Connor.
Connor says telepathically, "Sorry, you pushed me out." I don't know what he's saying. Hey, he did. He pushed me out. I don't know what he's saying
I
now.
It was cold in there anyway.
Lucius looks to the chain. He said he's weighing the two.
He's holding, in his right hand, he's holding the chain, and on the end of the chain is the head of the key, the one that's shaped like a skull. And in his left hand, he's holding this pouch of ghostly coins, which also contains your 9 platinum pieces that you've lost to him so far. And he's holding each of his hands out and weighing them back and forth in front of you.
Lucius takes one more platinum piece out of his pouch, places it in the ghost's coin pouch.
So you give him another platinum piece?
Yep.
The ghost seems taken aback by this.
Lucius points to the chain, gestures toward him.
And it nods, and it offers you the chain.
Take it from him.
And as you take it, the ghost and its ghostly coin pouch and your platinum pieces that are inside of it fade from view, as does the dice cup and 3 of the 4 dice. So one of the ghostly dice remains sitting on the boards of the ship.
Lucius picks up all 5, scoops them into the cup, hands the cup back to Gustavus.
You reach down, you pick up the 5 dice, and put them in the cup, and you can't really hear them rattle, really, underwater, but instead of a rattling sound when the ghost die hits the side of Gus's cup, it makes a very, very loud noise indeed. Like someone has struck the deck of the ship with something like an anvil striking the ship deck.
Yeah,
Lucius kicks up off the floor and starts swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, same.
Okay.
And
Gus, what do you do with the cup of dice?
I throw them in my pouch and swim.
Into your, like, backpack?
Yeah.
Okay. And your every movement causes this ghost dice to jostle more and more. With every reverberation against the side of this cup, it's like it's sending out shockwaves in all directions of sound.
Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop, and I'm going to reach in, and I'm just going to hold. It's just a singular die, right?
So there was 4 ghost die, 3 of them vanished, and 1 of them didn't.
Okay, I put it in my one of my hands, and I hold it where it doesn't rattle, and then I just throw the rest of the dice back in my bag and start swimming after everybody.
All right, let's get some initiative.
Remember, you still have Gift of Alacrity on you.
Yep.
Oh, hey, not bad.
That's a D8, right?
Ooh, that's pretty low down there.
Yeah.
So what's the goal here? The goal here is to swim out the ship the same way you came in?
Yep.
Okay. Connor.
Yeah.
You get free of the ship. Lucius.
Yep.
You get free of the ship as well. Gus, you hold the die tightly in your hand, and you get to the point. You grab onto the rope and sliding down, and you get free of the ship. At initiative count 10, I need everybody remaining in the ship, which is just Alexander, it looks like, to make me a strength saving throw.
You got it. So that's that's what we call a 1.
There is a lot of shaking and quaking and shifting and noise as the entire rock that the broken ship rests on starts stirring and moving in place, to the point where Gus, just a few feet down the rope, you end up having to let go and kind of sink the rest of the way down. Alex, at this point, you had not quite gotten to the rope when the whole ship lists forward.
Mm-hmm.
And you lose all sense of direction and are knocked prone against one side of the ship and begin falling with it down to the ocean floor.
Okay.
Ooh, big numbers. 15 points of bludgeoning damage. As the entire front half of the ship, which is where you guys entered, falls away as this rock turns and groans in place. That's going to bring us back to Connor. So Connor, you've made it down to the ocean floor. Gus is lowering right down behind you, and at this point you see the ship crashing down to the ground with Alex still inside of it.
All right. How far away is the ship at this point?
A difficult question
Yeah.
because it's coming apart in pieces as it falls.
Okay.
So within a few feet of you until fairly far away in the distance, I would say.
This is the one problem of one-way telepathy.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's like I can't.
The one problem.
Yeah, the one problem. There's no other problems with this.
It's the only problem.
Connor is going to keep running, or swimming, I guess, towards the entrance.
So towards the glow?
Yeah.
Okay. That's going to bring
But
us...
he is also going to keep tabs on what Lucius and Gus are doing, as well as if he could see Alexander.
Do you have a swim speed?
Nope.
No. So your move speed is what, 30?
Mm-hmm.
So you're moving at 15 feet per round.
Yeah.
30 if you dash.
Yep.
Is that what's up?
That is what is up.
It's going to bring us to Lucius.
I don't have eyes on Alexander.
No, the ship came crashing down as the rock next to you started to move, and you know that he did not get free of the ship before that happened.
Take verbal? Yeah, it takes verbal. Damn it.
Oh yeah, all my spells are verbal anyway. Forgot that.
Why you guys were not prepared for an underwater adventure, I don't understand. It was clearly signposted you were going to
I
go to
used to
Sigil.
have a hat that made a bubble around your head, but then we picked up water breathing.
Sigil is well renowned for its vast oceans.
Yeah, the vast great oceans of Sigil.
Natural habitat of dragon turtles, known far and wide across the multiverse.
Yeah, I ain't got anything else, unfortunately, son. Lucius is gonna have to keep going. Yeah, Lucius is gonna keep going, but making his way back to where the rope was spiked by Alexander before.
So are you dashing then?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're also able to move 30 feet per round?
Correct.
If you dash? Okay. It's going to bring us to Gus.
Uh-huh. How far away is the ship from me? Like, 'cause...
It's difficult to say because it came apart in pieces, and part of the debris is landing right near to you. You're not in danger of it falling on top of you because it fell away from you at an angle, but there are parts of the ship that are going to fall far away from you indeed, maybe 60 or 70 feet away.
I'm trying to figure out where Alex is.
It's a good question. You'd have to go to the debris of the ship and start searching.
Right. I'm gonna go to the. I guess can I reach the debris of the ship where like the entrance we came into is attached to still?
Yes and no, because the ship came crashing down and that entrance was already facing the ground, so it wouldn't be directly accessible. But many new and interesting places have broken apart in the ship's hull that you'd be able to crawl into and essentially get back into the room that you just left. But as for seeing an immediate sign of Alex, the answer is no. You'd have to use if you use a dash action, I'd let you get back into part of the broken hull. And then on your next turn, you can start searching around for him. Or you can abandon him.
There's a smart thing to do here, and then there's what Gus is going to do, which is go back into the ship looking for Alex.
Okay.
I mean, I'll start yelling. I can't communicate, but I can make noise.
You can blurble quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Blurble with the best of them.
So that's what Gus is doing.
Let's get a dexterity saving throw from Gus and Alex.
Well, okay. That's an 8.
Alex?
A 8 as well.
Okay. The rock that the ship was sitting on continues to move. And at this point, it's kicked up an enormous amount of muck into the air. Just mud and sand from the ocean floor. And the groaning sounds gets louder and louder. And you start hearing the sound of stone grinding against stone. And as the thing twists and moves, the whole ship, the whole wreck, twists and moves around you. To the point where you're both knocked prone. And Alex, you're going to be able to act this round. What happened was the room you were in, you were about to dive through this hole in the ground and grab hold of this rope that was tied down. That's when the ship came apart and you fell down to the ocean floor.
Okay.
So the hole impacted the actual ground and then the ship broke apart from there. So right now you're lying prone amidst the wreckage of the ship.
All right, how do I free myself from all of this?
You're pinned underneath a couple of floorboards. You can use your action to free yourself.
Doesn't require athletics or anything?
I'm going to say no because these floorboards have been submerged for goodness knows how long. It's just going to be a matter of shifting yourself out from under them.
Okay, so I spend my action to free myself. I can then move half my speed towards... Is there any obvious exit, or is there too much silt and dust in the
A lot of
water
silt
for me
and
to really
dust. It would
tell?
take a further action in order to identify where the exit is.
I'll make a blind guess and move 15 feet in a direction.
Okay.
That's the end of my turn.
Connor and Lucius, are you continuing to dash towards the glow?
Yes.
And remember, 50 feet away from the glow, there's a crowbar with a rope tied to it that you can grab, but without me around, I don't know if Scrappy's going to be able to pull.
Connor, are you doing the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you guys are moving forward, this stomping along in the silt, this is the round where you come across the crowbar tied off to the rope. And then you can see that the rope trails off into the darkness, and then there's still a glow a ways ahead of you. That's going to bring us to Gus. difficult to see because of all the muck
Uh-huh.
and sand being kicked up.
Mm-hmm.
But you can use an action to make a perception check to see if you can find Alex in this area.
Okay. Can I still see the exit? Because you said it shifted around without doing an action. I'm just trying to see what my action
Yes, you know where you
is.
came in. It just, when the thing twisted around you, it kind of knocked you off your bearings for a moment.
Okay, that is a 15 to spot Alex.
Okay. You don't spot Alex. However, you do see a steady stream of bubbles kind of breaking through the muck somewhere ahead of you. And Alex would be the only source of bubbles around. So the good news is he's alive.
All right, I'm going to stand up and do I have anything that I could do as a free action to make noise? Probably not.
No, you have that die in your hand.
That actually did cross my mind, but that seems like a terrible idea. Can I get enough? Can I bang my shield up against like a board or something? To like just try to make. I'm trying to make a little bit of noise. I'm trying to make enough noise to get Alex's attention, but not enough noise that the dragon turtle becomes even more aware that we're here.
So are you banging your shield against...
Yeah, just up against like a beam or something.
Alex, what's your passive perception at a -5?
That would put it at 9.
A 9? So you bang your shield up against the inside of the hull.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to be it for you?
Yep. Well, I'm going to be moving towards the bubbles, but yeah.
Well, a couple of feet, so you'd use half your movement
Yeah.
to stand up.
Right.
Okay. Connor and Lucius.
Sir.
The giant rock, at this point, is starting to move in your direction. It's moving swiftly through the water, faster than either of you are currently swimming. And you can tell that the rock has sprouted a massive head and giant flippers. And the dilapidated ship is being left behind.
Lucius is making every effort to get to that dim illumination that he knows where Scrappy is.
So you've got 50 feet to go, which is 2 rounds if you're dashing, yes?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
But I might maybe have a spell to do that. To shorten that a little bit. Shit, it's verbal components. God, it's only verbal components. Is that verbal components too? It's also verbal components.
Almost every spell is for
Every
components.
spell, yeah.
I've got 2.
So yeah, the dragon turtle is chasing you, and that's going to bring
Yeah,
us
so
to
dashing.
Alex.
Mm-hmm.
So you just struck off in a random direction?
Yep.
Roll me a d8.
You got it. That would be a 8.
An 8.
Higher's always better, right?
So you start moving in what you figure any direction has to be better than this. And you move through the trap door, which is on its side now. So you move kind of to your right through it, which puts the hull, the previous floor of the ship as like a wall to your left as you come out through it. And you decide to kind of move in a random direction, and it's difficult to see what any direction is because of all of the murk. What's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 14.
So, and you do have dark vision, yes?
Yeah,
Okay.
120 feet.
Gotcha. in front of you, but slightly off to your left, is a large hole that was knocked in the hull of the ship, which now this cloud of silt is starting to settle onto as debris of the ship is still floating to the ground. But standing there with his back to you is Gus, and you see he's worrying at the wall somehow.
Mm-hmm.
You're not quite sure what he's doing. So you happen to pick a good direction, in other words.
All right. Like I said, higher's always better.
So what are you doing this turn?
So can I move towards Gus as double move, dash towards him?
Yeah, if you do that, you'll reach him.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, Gus, as you're banging the shield, Alex manages to find you. And that's going to bring us back to Connor.
Still dashing.
All right. Sorry, I'm tracking everybody's position on my end here because I know I don't have a map of this underwater area.
Why don't you?
Why would I?
Exactly.
Lucius, same deal?
Yeah, continue to dash.
That's going to bring us back to Gus.
Uh-huh. I'm going to point at the exit that I came into for Alex, and I'm going to motion for Alex to follow me, and I'm going to swim out the hole.
When you swim out the hole, you can see the dragon turtle is swimming away from the wreck in the direction of the glow. You can't see your friends at all because they're on the other side of this dragon turtle.
Okay, I'm instead of dashing, I'm going to pull out that dice and rattle it around.
And as you do, it makes this loud sonic noise once again. And you see the dragon turtle stop and begin to turn.
Do we hear the noise too? I guess we do, huh?
You feel it more than hear it. It's like somebody's striking a loud bass against the seafloor.
Remember Gus fondly? Sorry, Alex, we're going to get eaten.
I have, well, I won't get into that.
The turtle moves back towards the wreck.
Is it the turtle's turn?
Yeah, you left the ship and you started rattling this dice around.
Right, okay, yeah.
Unless you're going to action surge and take another turn.
So...
Well, I guess that's your right as a fighter.
Right, it's my right. Is shaking the dice my action?
Oh, I was assuming that was all you're doing with your turn, because then you stopped talking.
Well,
what would you like to do with your action?
I swim forward.
Towards the turtle?
Yeah, towards the turtle. Still got to turn around. It's not like he can. Hopefully, can't spin around on a dime. I've still got to go towards the exit, regardless.
Right.
The turtle is between me and the exit. It's got to go that way.
Are you shaking the die the whole time?
No, I just shook it the one time.
Just the one time, and now you're holding it. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Alex, you watch as Gus swims out this hole in the hull of the ship, shakes the sonic die again, and then starts moving towards the turtle. Like a madman.
I'm a fighter. I must go fight the turtle. I'm gonna go punch the dragon turtle where I can.
The turtle turns around, and what are your passive perceptions?
14.
13, I think. 13, yes.
The turtle is regarding the wreck of the ship, You could tell that it's searching for the source of the sound. And that's going to bring us to Alex's turn.
I will dash away towards the light.
That's
all I got.
In the direction of the turtle. Is that your intent?
Is the turtle between us and the exit?
Yes, it is. Because it had started chasing after Connor and Lucius at first.
Let's dash orthogonal to that instead for the moment.
Okay. So you're gonna do a wide arc?
Yeah.
Instead?
Yeah.
That's gonna bring us back to Connor. Connor, you are close enough to the light that dashing at this point would let you exit the aquarium.
Damn it, Gus. I don't prestidigitation either. I can't even mask something like it. Yeah, let's get out.
And you break the pane of water with a splash. When you spin around, the spectacle inside, because now it's no longer dark. Now it's... You can't see where any of your friends are inside. In fact, you can't see the coil of rope. These things would be much too small of scale without real close investigation. However, you can certainly see the turtle, which looks like a manageable sized turtle now.
I bet it does.
And it's facing away from you, back towards the wreck of the ship. Lucius, you're up.
Continue to dash to the exit.
And just like Connor, you splash out, back out into the aquarium room, and you see the same spectacle when you turn around and look back.
Lucius turns around and takes hold of the rope that's attached to Scrappy.
It's going to bring us to Gus.
Gus is... Does the turtle looking at me, or is he looking... He's not looking at me, he's looking at the ship.
For you. But yeah, he's looking at the ship.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm going to kind of swim towards... I'm going to do what Alex is doing, but kind of opposite. So he's going... Let's say he's going left, away, kind of around the turtle. I'm going to go right around the turtle, where we both don't get squished.
So can't eat both of you.
Right, exactly. And I'm going to dash.
Okay.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
Move my full movement. Then I'm going to action surge, and I'm going to dash again.
Okay. So you're going to go 45 feet.
Right. Seems like a good use of my my limited resource, right?
Turtle moves towards the ship. And neither of you were there, but you see the thing rear back and open its head, and you hear this terrible bellow. And you watch as it breathes this super hot gust of water from its mouth that envelops most of the wreck of the ship. And that's going to bring us to Alex.
I'm going to make a hide check.
Okay.
Just trying to get lost in the silt and the mud. I'm hoping there's no fear that that's viable.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. This is +2, disadvantage for armor. God damn it. Let's make that a 10 with Flash of Insight.
So a stealth of
And
10.
that's, yeah, and that's the end of my turn.
Connor and Lucius.
Lucius is going to radiate action as soon as he feels a pull on that rope. He's going to pull.
Okay. Connor?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I just can't generate something loud enough to distract the damn turtle from Gus. So
Yeah.
Well, the turtle's not after me.
Cool. That's good to hear.
That's going to bring us to
Doesn't have
Gus.
Gus is underwater power walking for his life.
Okay. If you dash on your next turn, you'll be able to reach the some segment of the rope. You and Alex have a little further to travel because you guys were circling in an arc, whereas the other two did a straight shot directly for the glow. And it's a bad roll. The turtle swims back to the wreck, and all of you can... well, Gus and Alex, I mean, you can feel the thing swimming, even being as far away from it as you are. Its movements are sending ripples through the water. Connor and Lucius, you can just see the thing moving around like it's just a turtle in an aquarium. But it goes back to the wreck, and you see it swipe at parts of it with its giant flippers and whip at it with its spiked tail. That's going to bring us to Alex, who is mostly buried in the silt and muck.
I'm going to move towards the light at half speed to try and prevent it from giving my position away.
Okay.
So that's so can I do that and dash? So I'm effectively just moving my speed, but then half because it's difficult terrain.
You can't move stealthily while you're dashing. You can only move.
Okay.
So you're
Half
moving.
speed in difficult terrain is 7 feet.
Yep, 7 feet.
So, okay.
And that's going to bring us Connor and Lucius. Same held action.
Yeah, same held action.
And that's so. Gus and Alex have very different strategies here. Gus is just beelining as fast as he can, whereas Alex is trying to stay hidden. So Gus, if you dash this turn, you won't reach the glow, but you will reach the rope.
I don't see Alex, so I'm going to save the rope for him, and I'm just going to keep going.
So you're going to try to make all the way for the glow?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't trust Lucius to pull me and my plate armor through the portal with his noodle arms.
Very fair.
Good old spaghetti arms. All right, so next turn you'll make it to the glow, and I'm gonna get one more perception roll here for my turtle. And Alex, far away from you now, the thing is still worrying at the ship. But at the rate you're moving, it's probably going to take probably a full minute to reach the end point of the rope if you're moving this slowly.
Is there any place between here and there that has better cover?
No, actually, the only feature of the aquarium was the wrecked ship in the middle.
Okay.
It was almost like it was displayed that way intentionally.
Yeah, I'll just move directly towards the rope then at half speed.
Okay. So, Gus, you splash out of the glow. And I'm going to speed this up a little bit, assuming that Alex is not going to change his action until the turtle spots
As long as the
us.
turtle's doing the same thing, this is what's happening.
All right. There we go. That'll do it. So that is going to be a perception of 18, which will finally beat your hide check. On the fourth roll. So 4 rounds go by. So you've made it another 24 feet.
Okay. Now, am I aware that it's aware of me now?
You are, because you feel it in the water as the thing rears around and begins swimming very swiftly in your direction. And you've also
how
seen
close
it
am I
use
to the
its-
portal?
From here, because you made 24 feet in those rounds. If you do a full dash this round, the full 30.
25. Small creature.
Oh, that's right. The full 25, you could make probably the crowbar. Assuming
Excellent.
it's
So
still
I'll
there.
25 feet to get to the crowbar and then order Scrappy to haul me out.
Okay, so Scrappy can make a We'll just call this a straight strength check, which Scrappy can
Yep.
roll at advantage because both Connor and Lucius are also yanking on the rope.
Yep. Find Scrappy's strength real quick. It is +2. So that'd be a strength of 16.
So Scrappy and Connor and Lucius yank hard on this rope, and you feel yourself, you're pulled forward with astounding speed, with a really rough jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Mhm.
Make this at advantage.
That's a 18.
18. All right, I've got to roll so many dice.
Oh, hey, absorb elements is the only spell.
Yep. Yep.
So that is an even 50 points of fire damage, which you can cut
So
in half
Alex
for passing
grabs
the
onto
save.
the crowbar, braces himself, and as the scalding steam comes in, he points his gun into the stream and pulls a secondary trigger, releasing a freezing compound into it, having that damage.
All right, so you can have the damage twice, to 25, then again to 12.
Okay.
As you're being pulled out, the water behind you gets turned into this superheated steam as the dragon turtle racing forward and just unleashes this huge cone of superheated water. To the point where you guys on the other side of the aquarium, you can see the vertical surface is sputtering with bubbles and steam is spurting out of it as you haul Alex bodily out of the water, and he collapses in front of you, only slightly scalded and pink.
Lucius kind of collapses back against the wall. Lets out a long breath and says, "Oh, about went as well as could be expected, right?"
You guys watch as the now somewhat adorable dragon turtle starts to kind of throw a hissy fit in its aquarium as it seeks around fruitlessly for its prey.
I wonder.
I feel so terrible for this guy. Not.
I wonder where Lord Taker even got one of those, and how did he get?
So, this is going off of player knowledge, but I mentioned it after that dragon turtle like owned us back in the Kodrashi Sea way back when. That like Keelan was just like, fuck this. I'm making one of those my pet, for God's sake.
I was like, Keeling was a level 18 or something character by the end of that campaign, and has all of the resources of what used to be the Fated at his disposal. I think he could arrange to have a dragon turtle captured. And Gus,
Just does it out of spite.
Yep.
when you open your hand, the ghost die is gone.
I think that I think Mr. Ghostman was a sore loser.
You think?
Okay,
Oh,
so
that was a rough expense. Lucius counts his coins.
Oh, you're still
Alright.
missing all the coins that you had lost.
Oh yeah, no. Lucius is well aware. He's just trying to figure out how much he's out.
9 platinum.
We have... Oh, fuck. We have 2 keys? Is that where we are?
Yeah, Lucius holds the chain out to Alexander, and I said, I already gave you the shaft to it, I guess?
Yeah. Well, can I assemble these 2 pieces into a working key?
When you hold the shaft to the little skull piece on the end of the chain, the 2 pieces snap together and become one.
Well, we have. I guess start looking up the other rooms, Alex, and see if we can't figure out which one of these the final key's in. Gus is going to, while you're doing that, Gus is going to kind of go over here. And he's
Does the
going
book
to.
say anything about that door that just doesn't open because of the dimensions of the hallway?
No, the book is unreadable now because you spent a good 20 or 30 minutes with it on the deck of that ship before you put it in the bag of holding. So it's just a soggy mess now.
If we take it back in here and put it back in there and it turns back into chaos matter, can we get a new book?
That's a good
I
question.
am not going to be any part of that experimentation.
Is that what you're doing?
I'm not the one with the book.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Who all is attempting to exert their will on the book after you put it back in and close the door?
I mean, we know how it works now, so I'm not going to exert nothing.
Okay. So just Alex?
Yeah.
Just get an intelligence check.
You got it.
Lucius is not gonna take any part of this. He wants nothing more to do with that room.
I mean, technically you could do the same thing with Lucius's hands.
That's a 7.
A 7?
Yep.
And when you look into the room, instead of seeing the book laying there that you imagined, you're seeing the raw form of chaos matter. And what that looks like is kind of a floating glob of soup that's made up of all elements simultaneously. It's beautiful in its own way. It's just pulsating in the middle of the room. It looks like a hole in the universe through which you can see a mismatch of all of the elemental chaos.
Cool.
So it didn't turn into a book?
Didn't turn into anything.
Hmm.
You're just seeing it in its raw primal form. What's next?
Well, it looks like we're not going to get out of here in a timely manner.
Wait. What happened with the book?
I wasn't able to turn into a book again.
The book became unreadable because you carried it underwater for so long.
Right.
And when they
And we
tried...
threw the chaos matter back in the room, right?
Right. Then closed the door.
Close the door, and we were just like, I want a hint book for the dungeon. I opened it up, and it didn't turn into a hint book?
Didn't turn into anything. It's just a raw, naked blob of chaos stuff.
All right, close the door, and then
Mhm.
let's all think for that book. Let's all think at the book.
I'm not having any part of this. I'm sorry.
So Lucius isn't...
Well, I guess no, that's not a good idea because then we won't know who shaped the.
You try it, Gus.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hand you the blob of raw chaos matter.
No.
It's taking all of my will to keep my hands from.
I mean, the
not
chaos
being
matter's
my
just-
hands.
Yeah, the
It can
chaos
just-
matter is just sitting in the room. The idea is you put it in there, then you leave the room and close the door, and then shape it on the other side.
I'm going to close the door and think really hard about a book that explains a book that explains the shortest path to the third key and then the Kodrashi fork.
Okay.
Within the current layout of the dungeon.
Make an intelligence check.
That is 15.
15. This time when you open the door in the center of the room, a very thin book with a very colorful cover is laying there. And looking on it, the cover of the book, you see a cartoon version of yourself with a big head and a big smile and big expressive eyes, skipping through the dungeon with your shield in one hand and your weapon, your halberd in the other. And it's titled Gus and the Kodrashi Fork.
Yes.
A pop-up adventure.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Where does it? Okay, so what does it say?
Well, right now it says Gus and the Kodrashi Fork.
I mean, I'm opening the book. I'm reading the pop-up book. I want excruciating detail on this pop-up book.
When you open the book, and it's a pop-up book, so a scene pops to life out of the pages of the book, and you see a cartoon version of yourself and your friends talking to the people in the room with the feasts. Stylized versions of them. And the book is written in common, using simple language, and it rhymes. And the first page is all about how you met the people at the feasts, and were too scared to go in the room, even though the food looked very, very tasty.
I don't look anything like that, Connor says, pointing to the drawing of himself.
My hat really that big?
In every scene, Scrappy's tongue is lolling out the side of his mouth like he's Scooby-Doo. And as you flip the pages, Gus, each page details a different adventure that you've had in the dungeon. You see the room where Lucius became fixated on the puppet show, or as the book refers to it, the no-no room.
Excellent.
You see everybody
Excellent.
standing before the large chalkboard with question marks above their heads. You see everybody poking their head into the furnace room. You see one of you trapped behind the cage of the room where you find the triangle key. You see cartoon versions of yourself all pinching your noses close, standing in front of a pile of literal bullshit. And you see yourselves fleeing from a dragon turtle. And then you get to the point where you're looking at a pop-up scene of a little cartoon Gus holding a book, looking at a pop-up scene of an even smaller version of Gus holding a little pop-up book.
Oh, go to the next page. Doesn't tell us what to do next.
Yep.
Turning the
I think
page.
Yeah, turning the page.
Okay. You turn the page, and the next scene shows you breaking down this door.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
The
Gus,
door heading into 6, I take it.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't have the
Well,
tabletop
why do you...
window open.
Now, why do you suppose it would say that?
because it's the shortest path for us to get to the third key and then the Kodrashi fork.
Sure.
He was an
And also apparently Lord Taker is a git.
I think you're a little smarter. I think that book is a little under your pay grade, Gustavus. I don't think Lord Taker respects your intelligence enough.
Nobody does. I mean, Gus isn't stupid. Like,
No, just drunk.
Listen, nobody's saying Gus is stupid, but everybody's imagining Gus is really enjoying this pop-up book.
no, listen. Like, I'm like, you know how when you open and close a pop-up book, it goes. So I'm on the page with Gus where everybody's looking at the pop-up book, and the cartoon Gus is holding a smaller. I'm just opening and closing that page as we're walking down the hall.
Okay? But yeah, the page after that shows you breaking down this door.
All right.
We have to take off our armor and everything to go through this area again?
To sneak through that little tunnel you do, yes.
Yeah.
Do we want to try and do anything with this forge room before we do that?
You know,
I'm going to. I'm going to. I'll flip through the rest of the pages of the.
The next
pop-up book.
page, after breaking down this door, shows the four of you standing in this room, where you're standing in the middle of four pillars, and all of you appear to be holding your hand over your mouth and holding your breath. Continuing to flip forward.
Yeah.
The next page shows back in the forge. Shows a little cartoon Alex stoking a fire in the chests of the forge golem that lives in the room.
I mean, I'm just gonna go through the entire book at this point.
The next book after that shows you putting the 3 keys in the waterworks room.
All right, we'll stop. We'll stop there, and I'll put it in my pack.
Put it in your pack?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want to spoil the ending. So we do apparently have to do something in there, Alex, but the order it gave us was this first.
Mhm.
Do you want to do this while we're over here?
Yeah, I think we should do that. I mean, I just don't want to bother taking off and putting on armor and crawling through there again. Like, I'd rather only do that once.
All right.
Oh, wait, we're going to have to come back into here to get through the... Where's the room that we actually use the keys? Oh,
Over
no,
here.
yeah, let's do it in this... Let's do everything on this side of that room first.
Well, what happens when you deviate from this book of yours?
The book will change.
You don't want to know the ending.
Specifically, Gus asked for the most direct path.
Yep. So
And it did show the things in a particular order.
I think we should do it in the order the book says.
Okay.
I'm still hung up on.
I mean, how much time are we going to have left on water breathing if we do that?
I need a time check from the DM on water breathing.
You've got, I don't know, man, 22 hours left.
All right.
You guys have been reading this pop-up book for a long time. Gus has to sound out all the words.
I think you think Gus is. I feel like you have the wrong image of Gus. Anyway.
I don't know.
Gus is
I
gonna-
feel like Gus is the kind of guy who would enjoy a pop-up book about himself.
Who wouldn't? If somebody
that's
walked up to you, Brick Road, and said, "Here, I made a pop-up book about you,"
I had
it
one
was like-
as a little kid. There was like a company that you could buy a pop-up book and you could like personalize it with a child's name. And my
I did
grandparents,
too.
my grandparents did that for me and my brother. Here's the problem. My name is Ricky, but my actual name is Richard. So I was like 5 years old and the book said Richard. And I'm like, nobody calls me that. This book's not about me. My brother was like, oh, this one's about me. That's my name. And I was super jealous and I hated the book.
All right, Philip J. Fry.
I just feel like that just highlights you as a person. That story.
Oh, right.
That's traumatic for a 5-year-old when everybody calls you by a particular name and then somebody says, oh, but your name's not actually that. Like, what?
So anyway,
So those of you have to doff armor to squeeze through this little tunnel.
right.
Scrappy's a medium creature, so he can also squeeze through it. And you stand before... So the problem with the door wasn't that it was stuck or that it was jammed or anything. The problem was that the doors open outward into the hallway. And this door... Most of these rooms have like little landings off the side of the sloped hallway. This one doesn't. The door would open directly out into the sloped hallway. So the very corner of the door intersects with the grade of the room. So you're not going to be able to open the door outward. It just bangs into the side of the slope instead.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to break your way through the door somehow.
Okay. Question
Yeah.
1, because I've watched Alex do this several times. Are the hinges on the outside? Can we like knock the hinges out?
Where do you need the hinges to be, man?
I don't know. I was just gonna like if we could. I was just gonna ask, can we take the hinges off of the frame to pull the whole door off without breaking it down?
I'll say, just to make you happy, yeah, you can get to the hinges from the outside.
Okay, Alex, take the hinges off the door with your thieves kit.
And after a few moments, you take your tools and you disassemble the hinges and you pull the pins out. And the door is just kind of resting in place.
Gus is going to pull on it and then like make it like fall flat.
And it falls inward.
You know that scene in Breath of Fire 3 when you're at the McNeil Mansion wall? That's what I do. Just push it over.
And you can hear a very faint whistling sound in this room. As though wind is moving through a curved surface.
So your little pop-up book had us covering our ears, yes?
Covering our mouths and nose, like holding our breath as standing over these circles.
So these 4 circles are actually 4 pillars that run to the ceiling of the room. And this is the source of the whistling sound. Because the air in this room is moving somehow. It's not stale and stagnant. And there are, crisscrossed through all of these pillars are thousands and thousands of crevices and holes and creases and little tubes and tunnels that the wind is passing through, creating this whistling sound.
Okay. So this is what Gus... Go ahead.
That's where we'll take our break for today. As you all ponder what part of Keelian's adventures could possibly have led to the creation of this room.
Was it another sex dungeon?
So let's reconvene at about 5:45, about 15 minutes. Go ahead and get your coffee, get your bagel. I will bring down the curtains so Treble can easily edit this later. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll do this room that everybody's going to hate. Just absolutely hate.